Let's talk about turn order in triangle strategy, and more specifically, not moving. So not moving is actually something that's very powerful. What it does is there are two bonuses to turn order. There is a not moving bonus of 10% and an inaction bonus of 10%. So if you take an action and then you don't move, you can shave off turn order, and sometimes you can have a unit move before a nearby enemy, or you can rearrange your units so that it can actually do something useful. So I do check turn order constantly when playing this game. So one thing I can do in this case, let's say I want to throw a Firestone at this guy from really far away. And then let's see what happens if I wait without moving. So you can see here, by not moving, Piccoletta shaves off 2 turns. In this case, it'll just rearrange turn order within my own units. It won't cause her to go before another enemy. So it would actually be better to move. So because she can't really gain a tactical advantage from like staying in place, she might as well move. So in this case, I'll have her run over here. And then for Sarah Noah, he pretty much is forced to move. So like this is usually something you can do on mages, archers, units that have abilities like Milo. She can like moon jump, and that doesn't count as moving. So you can moon jump and then take an action and then have her wait in place, and she'll get the benefit, the 10% benefit of waiting in place. All right, so let's just Hawk Dive. We'll just get a few turns going because the initial turns generally are kind of set in stone in a way. Let's see, let's get Roland over here. Let's just start to get our forces together. Alright, so I have a few points that I want to go over. If you can avoid moving for a turn and it is useful to do so, you should check the turn order to see if you alter the turn order. So this is like the fundamental concept of this. So like for example, if I Dragon Shield on Benedict, and then I wait, you can see here, he actually will move before an enemy. So here, this is the big upside of this. If you don't need to move, and like you're in a position where the enemies are attacking you and you're kind of like slowed down or stopped anyways because you're dealing with a large enemy force or something, you should be checking this to see if you can move before enemies, because this can be the difference between a unit getting healed and a unit dying or a unit taking lethal damage, and this really does matter. And this is something that I think people know because the game explains it, but I think they don't know how to utilize it as effectively as you can. So the units that can do this best are units with range. So like archers, mages, healers, Piccoletta, because she can just throw items really far. So you can see there just the huge upside of, just not moving. But you don't always want to not move. So there's going to be, there's some other things I want to go over. So she's going to get hit in the back by turn 13, I believe. Okay. So if you can move before at least one enemy, especially if that enemy is near you, you should not move. And by that I mean if you can act, so if you can take your turn by not moving before an enemy that's near you, it's almost always beneficial to do so. So in the case of Gila here, I can heal Anna from here. Now let's see if I shave off useful turn order. So I do. So I go before turn 22. In this case, you should also check to see where they're at. He's kind of far away, so it's not the most useful thing, so she might as well move. So you kind of can calculate out if it's useful to wait in place or not, or to stay in place versus moving. And there's also this other thing that I refer to as moving for free, where sometimes you cannot reduce turn order by 10%, it won't do anything. So what you might as well do is just move for free, meaning that if you're not going to get increased turn order and it's not going to be relevant, you might as well move in that case to reposition the unit. So that's what I mean when I say that. Alright, so we want to get some of these guys, away from there. Just kind of move them around. Okay, so I went over moving for free. Okay, there are situations in which you want to rearrange turn order for setting up combos, for example. So sometimes you won't go before enemies, right? Like sometimes you'll go before just your own units. And this can be useful by rearranging turn order. So let's say I want Benedict to use twofold turn on Roland for whatever reason. But he goes after Roland, like in a 20 turns. It'll be like Benedict, or no, it'll be like Roland and then Benedict. And then what I do is I have Roland throw a stone and wait in place instead of moving and attacking. And then all of a sudden, you know, his turn order, he shaves off 2 turn order. Now he goes before, or I'm sorry, after, or no. I'm doing this wrong. It would be Benedict would have to be waiting in place. All right. So Benedict would do something and then wait in place, and then it would switch. His order would switch in before Roland's, allowing him to 2-fold turn Roland, and then Roland could act immediately afterwards. So this can be useful in a practical situation. It's more intuitive, like the more you do it. So it's one of these things where you have to just kind of get used to waiting in place and understanding when it's useful to do so and when it's a bad idea. So in the case of Anna here, let's see what we get. So this is a perfect example of moving for free. If I wait in place, there's no benefit. So she might as well reposition, and she might as well go find some allies. So that's moving for free. And then from Milo, what I could do is if I moon jump. So let's for the sake of argument, just like moon jump over here. And then if I wait, so I can act now. I was like about to pass the turn. So I can act, so that's great. So we can kill this guy. So we actually didn't get a movement, so let's see. In this case, she can move for free as well. So moon jump does not count as movement. It's an action, right? So if you moon jump and then do an action, that's just the same thing as doing 2 actions, which does not affect your move or not bonus. So something to keep in mind, this is also true of Traverse on Maxwell, because he can act again. So in this case, we essentially can move for free, so we might as well just have her run back, or maybe even come over here, so she's not as exposed. And then Piccoletto, we'll see what we can get going with her. We'll throw a decoy out, give him something to attack. I probably should have not put it on the tracks, so that way I could have just ran this dude over. But check this out. Alright, so we shave off 1 turn, and this rearranges her turn in front of Anna. So if there was some specific combo or setup where I needed that to happen, that would be useful to do so. Another way to manipulate turn order overall is to use speed items to get the items that you want to combo off of each other in certain orders. So for example, if you want Benedict to consistently use 2-fold turn, like Roland for example, as long as Benedict has more speed than him, in general he will be going before him. And with turn order manipulation, whether through waiting and not moving, or like they're not acting and not moving, or from moving and not acting, or not moving and acting, you can rearrange the turn order without turn acceleration and without quietus, like in tandem. So in this case, moving before Anna doesn't really help me, so I might as well run my own decoy over. I'm not like, this isn't like a strategy video in terms of like using Piccoletto correctly. This is more of a turn order manipulation video. So overall, I use this on mages who tend to move slowly, or when my army is engaged with a large group and there would be very little movement. You can, however, use this on any unit. So if you have a melee unit and there's enemies all around that melee unit, you can attack and then just stay in place, assuming it's safe to do so, and that can be completely fine as well. So I'm gonna move Grandma over here. All right, we got Benedict, just kind of chilling out. So he'll do something like this. He can bird of prey himself. Pretty useful to do this generally, and then you can start booking it. We got Roland. He just wants to get out of here. So he will. We'll just send him over here. Check that out. It's pretty mobile. So that's pretty much it for this video. It's just like a kind of quick tip. I mean, it's almost 10 minutes, but it's a relatively quick tip thing where, you know, moving or not moving is huge. And then another thing, like units like Serenoa, he can actually benefit from this because of things like Hawk Dive. So any unit that can act at range. And here's where it's starting to get big value. As the turns go on, you can start shaving off like 4, sometimes 5 to 6 turns, and this is huge. This not only rearranges like his turn order in your team, but it also causes him to move before enemies. And there are instances where I have moved before like 5 enemies just from standing in place. So this can be huge value. This is not just like some dumb thing you do every now and then. I use this every single match without fail. Acting more often is extremely useful. It's like getting extra turns. If you keep doing this, on average, you will get extra turns. So this is not a dumb gimmick. This is like a real thing. You can see there, rearranges her, but she can basically move for free here because it's just within your own units. And then we got the Gila. Gila, the Gila. Just have her move. And she's able to go before turn 24. This map is kind of weird because the enemies are so spread out. But on your average map, the enemy density, they can be very close to each other. So moving before them is massive value. And then we got Giovanna in the building. She can spike. She can actually probably just kill us with a stone. So she moved and acted, so she's not getting a bonus from that. So we'll just check like one more unit. So all of their turns are pretty close together because most of these units are fast. So we have our turns clumped together because of our increased speed. Oh no, Grandma died. Her evasion tanking is not the most consistent thing, unfortunately. It can be good, but obviously she's out there by herself. So that's whatever. Alright, let's just do like 2 or 3 more turns just to see what we can get for... So in this case for Anna, I think she can hit these. She can hit one of them. So she would definitely move. She would just like hop up here and just start nuking these. Sometimes it makes sense to throw out the extra turn order for offense, for positioning, and it's up to you to determine when that makes sense. So in this case, just for the sake of arguments, alright, so Piccoletta is an evasion tank, so we're going to do this. Make her more evasive. So she gets no extra turn order from waiting, so I could have moved her for free. And then Milo, let's just have her... She'll have to moon jump or throw an item, so let's just have her throw like a lightning stone. Spike him down. And you can see here, she actually moves before him, so this is the exact use case where she gets to move before a nearby enemy. Now, she can tank that shield hit, and turn 14 and 16 might be serious damage, so we'll have to do something about them. Like, kill them with AoE. Any unit can use stone, so even if it's a melee unit, they can throw a stone and wait in place, and it's still pretty good. So you can't go wrong doing that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. This is something that I wanted to cover for a while. I'm also going to cover dead turns and how to avoid dead turns in a future video. Dead turns are just turns that your unit's doing nothing, and things you can do on dead turns to increase effectiveness and to prevent them. But yeah, thanks for checking this out. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Drop a comment, and I will see you in the next video.